This video is brought to you by
Cool Green Clothing. You already know what it is. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and I assure you, you'll find something on the website right now just for you. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. It's nothing like being a kid. That innocence in your eyes, no worries in the world, going to school, going outside to play with friends, just looking at the world from a childlike state. A lot of parents try hard to keep their kids being kids. What I mean by that, they work hard to make sure they can participate in sports, go on family trips, might make sure they live in a nice and safe community, eat dinner every night at the table as a family, and instill things in them that will help them in life, while also telling them not to grow up too fast and enjoy being a child. But other kids might not be that fortunate and have a different upbringing. A lot of us coming from certain environments might get exposed to something too young that changes how we see the world. Whether losing a family member or friend to violence at a young age, walking outside, seeing people hustling, trying to make money while others struggle with addiction, hearing gunshots, seeing police tape, even if your parents or people in your house try to raise you right, that's just half the battle. The other half is what a kid sees and are exposed to when they go outside. I remember watching my mother be sick for years. Then one day, while I was outside trapping, she called me and said she was going to the hospital for an emergency. That look on her face and the call later on saying she didn't make it shook me to my core. I was 17 years old with a daughter on the way, already running the streets, doing and saying way too much. But that one day forever changed me, and I lost the little innocence I still had. 3 months later, I was facing 25 years in prison. I consider myself one of the lucky ones though. Some kids, unfortunately, don't even get a chance to make it to the other side and see it's more to life. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a teen who was warned on TV about his choices, but the streets had other plans. Back in 2015, 17-year-old Franklin Morris was trying his best to navigate the streets of Baltimore, but the teen, like most of us that age, was having growing pains. Franklin had been through a lot early on, losing his father years prior in 2012 in the Baltimore streets to gun violence, which caused Franklin to start rebelling, and he started getting into trouble. At around 14 years old, he started breaking into houses, stealing, gambling, and running the streets, which led to concerned family members reaching out to the popular TV show Beyond Scared Straight. For those not familiar, that's where troubled kids go to their local jails to see how the inmates live. They try to scare them by telling their stories and showing them their reality and what it can be if they keep going down that path. And in 2013, Franklin was on an episode where he explained he liked to have fun, hang out in his neighborhood, and stay out late with friends, and sometimes they would get into trouble. He was sent to a jail in Queen Anne's County, Maryland. In the show, Franklin really took it as a joke, laughing, looking at the inmates like they were actors. He showed no interest in nothing they was talking about, which if you know anything about Baltimore, then you know the people, even the kids, don't scare easy, as there's nothing more scarier than walking down a city block after dark. But Franklin's family was hoping the show had an impact on the young man, and could do some good. But instead, just a few years later, in 2015, he started running the streets even more and catching some serious cases. He was hanging with two other young men, 19-year-old Marquise Caldwell, known as Noodles by everyone who knew him, and 17-year-old Tyreek Adams, known as Ty. Noodles got his nickname because he loved to dance. He attempted to stay out of trouble and out the streets by joining a local dance group. The young man who could rap and dance would often tell people he would be the king of Baltimore. He was outgoing, he loved to joke and have fun. But around 2012, Noodles fell back from the dance scene a little bit when his mentor, Erwin Daniels, who Noodles even stayed with from time to time, lost his life in the Baltimore streets. After that, his passion for dance started falling off. He stopped participating as much in the competitions and he slowly pulled back. Some felt Erwin was one of the only ones who could keep Noodles from jumping into the streets. A few years after his passing, he started catching some serious charges from trapping and other things. Ty was described as a natural leader, young but strong-minded, often telling people, "Can't nobody run me or tell me what to do, I'm my own man." Him and Noodles were locked in like brothers. They was homies for life. Franklin and Noodles would get jammed up after hitting a lick together when the two allegedly broke into a house in Baltimore County and posted some of the items online. The man whose house it was searching the internet one day when he recognized some of his items on Craigslist. He set up a meeting to buy some of the items back, but instead of him showing up, he called local police. They pulled up on the teens and found some of the stolen items, and the two also had guns on them as well. They both were taken into custody, charged but made bail. Noodles been on probation from a prior drug conviction. A warrant was put out for his arrest, but he wasn't picked up. Just a few months later, on a summer night, August 13th, 2015, Franklin, Noodles, and Ty were all together by a park not too far from Old York Road on Willow Avenue. They were just bopping around, chopping it up, when BPD, who was already in the area, heard multiple shots go off. They hit the block to find all three young men suffering from gunshot wounds, and two of them had guns on them. They were all rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, they all would pass away from their injuries. BPD started an investigation, but it was almost like they were chasing a ghost. Nobody saw or heard nothing, and they had no leads or suspects. The community was in shock as everyone was left to mourn the three young men. It seemed their families were no closer to answers. As months went by, the case started going cold, as some people remembered the three, Noodles for his dance skills, which ironically, if he would have been arrested for his probation violation after he made bail for his new charge, he probably would have still been alive. Franklin, who also had a chance to get it right, but couldn't shake the streets. And Ty, who despite his strong mind, couldn't shake the street life himself. As of now, 11 years later, it still hasn't been an arrest in the case, and it still remains cold. Rest in peace to Noodles, Ty, and Franklin. I send my prayers and condolences to their families and loved ones. Unfortunately for some, you could tell them all day. Things can happen if you keep living a certain lifestyle, but it doesn't seem real until it really is real. When we are young, we always think these old heads just talking. I don't care what you've been through. It ain't happened to me, and a lot of us didn't listen. Some had to go through the fire themselves, but made it out on the other side. But unfortunately, some don't. But I'm going to leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about the situation in the comments. Yeah, man, it's a sad story. Rest in peace, them three young men. I definitely send my prayers to their families. But I ain't going to talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. It's another episode of the Baltimore Way. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.